Hey, I'm so glad you're here. I hope you're doing well. So today I thought we could do a pick a card on what blocks are being removed from your life to prepare you for the new year / new cycle of your life. So pile number 1, we've got travel. And then we've got serendipity for pile number 2. And for pile number 3, we have reciprocity. So, as always, take a moment to meditate on the cards and see which one stands out to you. And I'll see you over there. Hey, pile number 1. So you chose the travel card. Number 39. And it's got pack and go. And today we're talking about what blocks are being removed from your life so that you are more prepared for the new year or just the new cycle of your life coming up next. I'm going to have this be a timeless reading. So if you're watching this when it's posted at the end of December, then, definitely take this as being a reading about what you're being prepared for with regard to entering into 2026. And if not, just consider that a new cycle of your life is at hand and blockages are being removed to prepare you for them. So for you, there's this travel card. So I'm going to put that over there. And let's get more information for you. Let's start with these. For pile number 1, what blockages are being removed? Prepare them. Okay, you got quite a bit. We have Woodland Guardian. Protect what you hold dear. Honor the earth and its gifts. Moonlit Pond. Connect with your emotions and let your feelings guide you. Oh, these images look really similar. Look at those moons. Dancing leaves. Embrace change. Let the winds of transformation guide you. Okay, that's very related to this travel card and kind of what I was feeling with it. And Fairy Ring. Find sacred space. Connect with the faith through nature's magic. This is really talking a lot about connecting with yourself, creating that sense of comfort within you to deal with, to be able to navigate more powerfully the changes of life that come up. And so maybe one of the blockages that you've had is the difficulty to deal with change and the difficulty to remain empowered and to feel like you can handle what's happening without just losing it. It's storming outside, and there was a roll of thunder just as I said that. So let's get some tarot and take a look at this blockage, because it really looks like, I mean, it says pack and go, so it looks like in the new year or in this new cycle of your life, there's going to be some change. There's going to be a lot of movement happening. And that definitely could be travel for sure. And being able to deal with the changes that come up with travel and that kind of movement, and remain in your empowerment is probably really going to be important for you. So yeah, let's get some tarot and see what more we can get on this for you. Pile number 1. I like to tell us about these blockages. So Queen of Cups comes up, and we see that, you know, connect with your emotions and let your feelings guide you. Clearly, that's an area that's creating the blockage, that's making this ability to navigate the changes of life smooth for you. Your emotions, you know, get involved, and maybe you just start spiraling, overthinking, becoming anxious and upset, and then you're just huddled in a corner. You can't deal with anything. So becoming the Queen of Cups seems to be important. Let's see. Yeah, 6 of Swords. Okay. What else for pile number 1? That's what it seems like, is that you are walking away from or moving away from that turmoil of emotion, the turmoil of not having sovereignty over your emotions, and finally coming into that balanced place of emotional stability. Knight of Cups, which goes hand in hand with let your feelings guide you, right? As you go through the movements of life, let your feelings guide you. Don't let your emotions rule over you, but establish a sovereignty to where there's harmony, and you're able to listen to the flow of how you feel, and then honor that, and really sit into that. A lot of times when our emotions are sort of all over the place, it's really because we're disconnected from them. We're not really listening to what they're trying to say. And so it gets worse and worse and worse. And when you're dealing with change and you've already built up this tension within you because of your unwillingness to look at your feelings and you know, listen to what your emotions are trying to tell you, you can't deal when that change comes up, because, you know, there's just so much already stacked on. How can you take on more? Look at these colors. Beautiful, soft, sort of turquoise, blue and green. Do we have one more card for pile number 1? Oh. 6 of Cups. And we see the light come in. Wow. That's really cool. Because it's really saying that when you listen to your emotions and you honor them, you're honoring your inner child, giving it a voice. And when you honor your inner child and allow that playful, innocent nature to have space within you, there's an empowerment that comes with that. There's like this sort of stability that you start to stand on because there's no inner turmoil. Now you're settled and rested because you've honored your inner child, your emotions, you've listened, you've paid attention. And so when change comes up and when movement needs to happen, you're ready. And that's really what this looks like here. You're coming into the establishment of that emotional balance and stability. You're coming into the ability to, take action based on not only how you feel, but what you love. You're honoring your inner child and your emotions and moving away from all of that choppy waters, turmoil, and instability that you've had to deal with because your emotions have run rampant for so long. And being able to remove this block of emotional instability is going to empower you so much for this next stage in your life, for this next year that we're all facing. You will be able to, take a look at the travel plans or the movement that starts coming up and take a look at it with, excitement and readiness. You feel the ground underneath you and you feel stable and ready to take on any challenge that comes your way. Is there anything else, Spirit, that we could give for pile number 1? What about this deck? Any last messages? Pile number 1. Okay. Let's see what this one is. Oh, that's so nice. All right, let me see. There we go. Summer solstice light celebration, that is what's coming in for you. Like with these cards, how they're so like muted and kind of like, it's just the nighttime. And we saw that like all of these are just moons. It's just sort of like dark, but in a slumbering sort of way. That's how it feels. But you're waking up, you're coming to the new day, to the new dawn of summer and warmth and brightness. And I think that, it really feels like there's no way that you're just coming to this now, this ability to take charge over your emotions and really take responsibility and look at them and listen and put in the work for what they need. But even if you are, even if this message is finding you to inspire you to do that, it's not going to be too late. Next year and this new stage that you're coming into will follow what you're ready for. And it's best to be empowered when things come on. And so if you're just coming to this, take this as an encouragement and a message of empowerment, so that you're ready, so that okay, there are going to be some changes in my life. There is going to be some movement that's going to happen, and I want to be ready. And how I can be ready is by removing this blockage of emotional instability, taking charge over my emotions, paying attention and listening, honoring my needs, so that I can bring the light in and celebrate those changes, celebrate the movement, and not feel like it's just way too overwhelming and way too hard to even face, to where you don't even get to enjoy whatever gift is in there. And you definitely deserve to enjoy every part of your life, no matter how surprising or uncertain sometimes it can seem. It can always lead to your enjoyment and your fulfillment. And being able to remove this blockage of emotional instability is going to be a huge support for you with the times ahead. I looked at the back of this deck and we got Amethyst, Calm and Wise. And under that, which I think is interesting because we have the fox here, is another fox. Okay, so wisdom and cleverness. When you're calm, right? When you have that emotional stability, you can start to understand how to navigate in a clever and strategic way whatever changes come up for you. And the fact that the fox is here within this beautiful summer day is kind of your indication that as you move away from the emotional instability, you move into the ability to strategize and be clever, to navigate powerfully your process of life, the path that you're walking down, the path that leads you to your highest hopes and dreams. And those hopes and dreams are always going to be upon paths that are going to challenge us, so that we grow and we advance and we expand in our skills and our understanding and our wisdom. Any challenge is a blessing. And now that you're obtaining this emotional balance, learning how to be calm in the midst of change, you're going to start to see that more and more. Okay, yeah, this is a blessing. This is benefiting me. I get to grow, and I want to keep going through more and more challenges. I want to be able to meet them head on because I can see how much it's enriching my life. And I think that's what you can expect in this next year is a more enriched life as you get to face challenges and navigate changes with more calm, more empowerment, and more strategy and wisdom that just enhances and advances all of who you are more and more. So great job on this work that you have put in on balancing your emotions. I hope that this message has offered you insight and hope on what is to come and on, the benefits of the work that you've been doing. And I hope that you have a wonderfully blessed day. I'll see you next time. Hey, pal number 2. So you chose the Serendipity card. Fated Encounter. Wow. Yeah, that's a number 11. Pretty dragonfly. Okay, so what blockage or blockages are you releasing in preparation for the new year or new cycle of your life? So let us find out. Let me see. Let's do these cards first. Pile number 2. Okay, a bit aggressive. Oh my god. Missing shells. Okay, hold on. I know. There we go. That works. So, you got 3 cards that jumped out. We've got Basil, Abundance Wellness, Cinnamon, Warmth and Protection, and then Autumn, Equinox, Harvest, and Balance. That is so interesting because all of these have to do with sort of I don't know, food, abundance, health. Yeah, kind of like your physical existence, your physical needs. So what blocks are being removed to prepare you? Let's do these ones. Try to get more information. Does it have to do with health? Like fated encounter, you meet someone that, knows something about your situation and can lead you in the right direction. What else for pile number 2 and blocks their release? Oh, okay. So we have Cleansing Rain. Let go and renew. The rain washes away the old. Wow. And then I did see on the bottom, Lux Spell. Yeah. Come on. I don't know. Yeah, this really feels like this has to do with your health, your physical well-being. And we did have this harvest balance card. And right under it, or I mean right over it, is luck. And so I think Spirit is really encouraging you that even if you feel like your health situation, I just want to say is bleak, from the way that these cards are, fated encounter, serendipity, and then, abundance, the harvest, balance, right? Wasn't that what it said? It said balance, like you're coming into balance with your health. Like it's coming around. And there is going to be luck for you. Again, like I said, with maybe a fated encounter where somebody just has the right information and it can provide you with exactly what you were missing to get this turned around. And yes, that can happen. And no, I do not believe that there is anything, any illness that we face that cannot be healed. Remember that the illness that your body is showing you comes from internal blocks. And so as we're talking about what blocks are being released, maybe that's really what's going on here, is a call to look within, to start to understand why your body is saying what it's saying on a deeper level. What are things that I ignore, that I run from, that I pretend isn't there, that I hide from? How can I have the courage to look at them for once? Is there a way that I can bravely face the things that I've not wanted to look at in order to start to bring balance into my physical health? And treating a physical ailment is always two parts, but most of the time people only want to treat it with the one part of external treatments, and they ignore the internal work, the emotional, the mental, and the memory work needed to resolve what the body is expressing in its ailments. It's just giving you information, but it's up to you to have the courage to dive into what that information is actually saying and actually calling you to. Responsibility and action are always needed from you with regard to yourself and your well-being and the quality of your life. It's not going to be up to somebody else, and it's not going to be up to some kind of external treatment completely. And so the luck can be in a fated encounter that gives you some external treatment, insight, or help. But the luck can also be, I just read, fortune and favor set me free. I think that that's really what's being addressed here. And if you are addressing it and, beginning to release those blockages that have caused your physical ailment, first of all, bravo, hell yeah. And second of all, expect that some major luck and favor, abundance and harvest is going to start coming in for you, especially within this new year, this new cycle of your life. Not only with just, again, feeling free, but, getting your health back, getting your energy back, starting to feel like, oh, I can breathe again. I can live again. I can go out and do what I want to do. Well, let's get more information from the tarot. A card was left on the table when I tried to pick up the deck. Knight of Wands. Okay. What else for pile number 2 about their blockage? Okay, so we've got that 8 of Cups. And there are so many more cards. Let's see. Okay, so we have 3 of Pentacles. All right, I think I bumped the camera. I don't know. 10 of Swords. Okay, and then we've got Page of Cups and the Lovers. And in this 10 of Swords, her blindfold is coming off as though she herself is removing it, right? And a lot of times when we have health issues, we feel blindfolded. We feel like we don't understand. We're confused. We don't have a clear understanding or vision of what's going on and what to do. And with this 3 of Pentacles, it looks like you're working with others or will be working with others to begin to know what to do. And that can be, again, that can be twofold. That can be people, to work together with them for the external remedy. And then on top of that, working together with your spirit team to release these blockages, release the pain and the torture that you've been under for so long, so that in that twofold way, you can bring yourself into a balanced state of wholeness and healing. What I see with this is this idea of choosing playfulness, lightheartedness. When we go through things that are so upsetting that it actually causes trouble to our physical body, we're not going to be playful. We're not going to be lighthearted. We're not going to feel good. And this is a real call to have the courage to take that blindfold off and lightheartedly approach your healing. Because you know that favor is coming, that luck is on your side. So the Knight of Wands is very fast. A very fast knight. And with this card, this 8 of Cups in particular, I like to look at it as Sorry. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Bringing what's in the darkness to light. And so it's like in haste. See, he has his torch lit bright right before his eyes, guiding his path forward. Having that determination to look at the light and bring to light all that's hidden under the surface. Bringing it into balance, to harmony. And you can't do that until you bring it to the light, until it gets seen. So with that fiery determination and haste, don't delay. Look deep at all the things hidden. And sure, that takes a lot of courage, no doubt. But you have to decide, you have to ask yourself, do I want abundance and health, or do I want to keep living in torture? Because the choice is yours, even though I understand when you have health issues, you feel like you don't have a choice. But it is all up to you. Because it's your health, your mindset, where your emotions are at, how you are treating yourself, what you are saying to yourself. All of that is up to you. And so when Spirit tells you to bring to light what's in the dark from a place of playfulness, they're asking you to honor yourself with the hope and the faith that you can face these things so powerfully you can do it in a playful way. Gentleness is power. And gentleness is found in lightheartedness and ease and playfulness. So when you are willing to offer yourself that faith, trust in yourself that you can face these things hidden in the shadows powerfully. And you can do it with lightheartedness, with that playful mindset that says, this is not too big for me to handle. This is not too monstrous that I can't face it and deal with it. I'm going to playfully approach this because I have what it takes. I can do that. And in playfully approaching these things that are hidden in the shadows and bringing them to light, you release that blindfold. You set yourself free. And you finally give your body a chance to get in balance and resolve and be resolved of the issues that it's been dealing with. Don't let anybody tell you that you can't. That's nonsense. You can, and only you can. Because it's up to you. You decide what kind of life you want to live. Do you want to live down in the shadows, or do you want to live up there in the light, shining bright? And it is a challenge and a difficulty, but one that you can handle, one that you can face so powerfully you can even look at it with a playful heart. What are some final messages that you can give to pile number 2, Spirit, to help them navigate how to release these inner blockages, to release the outer blockages? This one too. Oh, okay. Releasing the past, emerging, transforming, energies transmuted. Absolutely. Releasing the past. And that's really what the 8 of Cups is kind of talks about. Walking away from what happened. Okay. The cycle breaker. You will get through it. The cycle is ending. You know, and clearly this is generational. You know, do your parents and grandparents or any other family members suffer the same kind of illnesses that you're suffering? It's a generational issue. And you have what it takes to break it. You can break it. You can face these difficulties and pains and trials of the past. And you can break those generational curses that have chained you and your family for who knows how long. And you have what it takes, and this reading found you to tell you that. Because I think deep down you know that not only it's time, but that you want to. You don't want to keep living like this. You don't want to keep barely making it every day. At some point, you want to be set free and released from these chains. Chains of physical ailment, chains of emotional and mental turmoil, chains of the painful memories that never seem to end. So, the blockages that you are releasing, these kind of sum that up. You're releasing the past and the pain that you experienced there. You're releasing generational curses so that you can finally come into balance and experience the abundance of health and freedom for once. So I thank you so much for joining me. I hope that this really inspires and encourages you to keep pressing through and press through with a light heart. Be playful. Keep looking at it with a playful heart, because it will give you power over it. And you will see the end of this. So, until I see you next time, take care and stay playful. Okay, welcome pile number 3. So if you chose this reciprocity card, number 3, this is going to be your reading on what blocks you are releasing to prepare you for the new year or the new cycle that may be coming up for you. And I'm making this timeless, so if you happen to watch it when I'm posting at the end of December 2025, then you can consider this for the new year 2026. Otherwise, just consider it for whatever new cycle is starting in your life, and take it as a sign that a new cycle is about to start for you. So what blocks are you releasing to prepare you for that? And you got this, you felt drawn to this reciprocity card. Give help and receive help. Okay. And actually your pile was the only pile that got 2 of these. Test. Look for a divine test. Oh, that's interesting. Huh. Oh. 3 and 2. 3, 2, 1. Is there a countdown? Is there a countdown to something in your life? Maybe to this new cycle that's about to start for you? Do you feel it? Do you feel like it's a countdown? You're getting ready. Give help, receive help. I think it's interesting looking for a divine test. I don't know. Okay, let's get more information. Let's see, what do I want to do? Let's do one of these. Pile number 3. What blocks? Okay, 1, I got 2. Okay, so we got intuition. Oh. Okay, so divine knowing, as well as candle magic. Can you read that? I think so. Respite and care. What blocks is pile 3 releasing? I wonder if the concept of reciprocity is not something that you're used to. I wonder if one of the blocks that you've had to deal with over and over in your life is constantly giving and getting nothing in return. We see with this candle magic, respite, care, giving yourself that needed rest, that needed break, that needed TLC. Because, maybe you're just constantly giving that to everyone else and never either not having time for it or really feeling like you receive the same kind of care that you give to others in return. Maybe reciprocity has been lacking in your life. And with this test card, I feel like it's almost like Spirit has been using that as a way to build you, can you, and maybe lately especially, like you're facing, I don't know, maybe an unusual amount of giving and not receiving. People just kind of like ignoring what you do and not even showing the slightest bit of care. What did this card say? Oh, divine and knowing. Yeah. Yeah. So the block has to do with not listening to your intuition, to what you know deep down. Like, oh, I don't really want to do this. I don't feel good about this. And then, you end up getting that imbalance of not having reciprocity, not having the same given back to you what you pour in. So it's about, stepping into your intuition, starting to really listen and honor that, and figuring out how to actually provide for your needs, take care of yourself, find the way to achieve reciprocity. If you know in your intuition that there is a situation being presented that you're not going to receive anything out of it, and certainly not to the equal exchange of what you put into it, then show yourself some care and don't do it. And it's a test for you. Why? Because you are on the verge of really breaking this blockage, removing it out of your life. And the most important thing you can do for yourself right now is to take the action to prove to yourself that you will say no when you know it's not going to benefit you. You will stand up for yourself to achieve equal exchange in any endeavor that, others are trying to have you be a part of. And you're not going to let yourself be walked over anymore. And that is a really hard thing to do when you're very soft and kind. And it's absolutely okay to be soft and kind. It's wonderful. And to understand how to have those boundaries, enforce them is really hard. Because then people can, use that your kindness to manipulate you, like, oh, well, you need to feel bad because you said no, or because you had these, stipulations on how you would do it. People will do that because they have originally been able to get out of you everything they want for free. And setting those boundaries is initially challenging. But remember, you deserve love and care. You deserve to shine bright and beautiful and colorful like what this candle is doing. It's like, is that the background or is that? It's the candle itself. You are colorful and bright and you deserve to shine. But you can't shine when you're being depleted. And when you shine bright and beautiful like this, it's a blessing to everyone. Even if they want to whine and fuss, at the end of the day, they will be grateful to have the chance to see how bright you are, even if you didn't do everything that they wanted you to do. Don't let people enter into their childish state. Meet them at a mature level so that they can rise up into their own maturity to meet you back. And if they're not able to, then that's where your boundary comes into play. And there's nothing you can do. But most people will be able to, and it will inspire them. And it will ignite a kind of fire in them to want to rise up more. And you encouraged that with your boundaries. So boundaries can be a really big blessing. And Spirit is using this as a test to see if you can really solidify them, to make them strong, to make them solid, so that your boundaries can start to be a blessing and an inspiration to those around you. Let's get some tarot. What would you like to tell pile number 3? Spirit, about this blockage they are releasing? That's like hidden. Oh, wow. And it hid itself. Hey, that's really cool. 3 of Swords. Okay. Queen of Cups. Anything else for pile number 3? Anything else for pile 3? Oh, this one. Ooh, 9 of Swords. And then this one is sticking out, so take that too. Hell yeah, Ace of Pentacles. All right. I don't know, but it kind of feels like a back and forth. 3 of Swords, Queen of Cups, 9 of Swords, Ace of Pentacles. And that can be how it works when you're trying to discover your boundaries, understand how to enforce and uphold them. And people are, maybe you have to deal with a lot of people, or just a select few that are maybe just really needy of you. And so, you can try to stand your ground, and then, they come in, whine and fuss and, make this huge drama about the whole thing. And so then, you're back into doing, it's like, but look, a bright new day is coming. And here's the thing. It's been painful, right? And learning how to achieve that emotional balance in the midst of, dealing with people that step over your boundaries and don't equally give you back what you give to them is a challenge, to say the least. And it definitely causes emotional turmoil. But the thing is that the cards are really showing like you are figuring this out. I mean, Queen of Cups. It's not Page of Cups. It's a Queen. You are figuring out how to balance yourself and how to achieve a deeper sense of sovereignty. So this new day that's coming, and that could be the new year, that could be this new cycle. Remember we were talking about 3, 2, 1, right? Like you're on the verge of really stepping into a more powerful stage of your life where the back and forth of giving people what they want and then upholding your boundaries and then, being manipulated to, have those boundaries be broken is ending. And you're finally stepping into, this is Ace of Pentacles, it's like new solid ground that you can rely on, that you can feel strong and solid and stable standing upon. And the anxiousness and the pain, feeling frozen, that's passing. And in this card, I'm not sure if you can tell. Let me see. She's taking her blindfold off. So even as you've been going back and forth, it has been helping you to understand how to see clearly and how you can begin to stand strong, where you can start to uphold this and not back down. And a lot of times, most times in life, we need that sort of repetitive back and forth motion to drive home the point that Spirit is trying to teach us. Like, oh, I'm not sure, I'm confused. And then you go through the pain and you're like, oh crap, no, I've got to stand my ground and be strong. There's, a face on all sides. Like, you're being guarded, right? From all directions. You're paying attention, you're watching, and there's a torch keeping it lit, being strong and clear, right? You're seeing clearly. You've got the key, you've got the sword. There's clarity and answers and understanding. Right? And then, fall back, crap, they got me from the other side that I wasn't paying attention to, and, but it's definitely leading, that process of back and forth is leading to your final release. And it, you're feeling it, right? The 3, 2, 1, you're feeling that, yes, I'm getting there. I'm getting this, this blockage of letting people step all over your boundaries and not getting to experience reciprocity is ending. And this Ace of Pentacles is your confirmation. This crystal is shooting up out of the earth, bright, sparkling in the morning sun. And it's the indication of your stability and your boundaries coming up strong and sure, where they can't fall down anymore. You've found the way. You've understood the process. You've successfully passed this test. And this is your confirmation of that. What card should I do next for you as the last message? Well, maybe I'll do 2 different cards as the last message. Let's look at this deck. I'm not sure if I just say for pile number 3. Pile number 3. Doing such a good job. This one? Oh, there's 2. Okay, you've got the Holy Mountain. Oh, releasing the past. That was in pile number 2. So, soul calling, sacred journey, emerging, transforming. And then one more card from this deck. Oh my god. Okay, it's a bit slippery. So I guess it's not gonna be one because there was this one. Okay, Dreamweaver. Oh, Woodland Guardian. Craft a reality. Let your imagination shape your world. Whoa. Yeah. Protect what you hold dear. So, yeah. It seems like this whole back and forth and the entire experience itself of being sort of used and walked all over and not offered the same effort and care and love that you give back to you is a part of your mission in life. Sacred journey. The sacred journey of going through this back and forth experience with building your boundaries. In order to achieve such a kind of release and freedom that it can then be shown to others. You know, like we were talking about, you know, your boundaries can be a blessing and an inspiration to others. And that really is a part of your mission in life, a part of your life purpose. This journey that you've been on is a part of your life purpose. You're emerging, you're transforming. The way that people normally interact, especially with soft, sensitive people, by lifting up boundaries and saying, yes, I'm soft and sensitive and kind, but I still deserve equal exchange and respect, just like everybody. And when a soft and sensitive and kind person stands their ground, it changes the game. It really ultimately transmutes energy like you wouldn't believe, because people don't expect that. They expect that a soft, sensitive person is just going to crumble at any kind of pressure. But when you don't crumble, it surprises them and it starts to make them question things. It starts to make them consider a different path. And so you going through this holy journey, it really is a holy journey, even though it's definitely been a trial for you. Right? I mean, you know, Spirit isn't going to lie. Like, it was a test, and they showed that right out the gate. Because not only will the outcome be such a blessing for you, because finally you get to step into empowerment and start to receive equally what you give, but it's absolutely going to bless those around you, because they'll get to see a new way of approaching life, a new path that they could walk down that they've never even considered before. Oh, you could be soft and kind while still standing strong and standing up for your rights? I would have never thought of that. Most people think that the only way that they can have rights is through harshness and cruelty and stepping on and over others. And by you going through this process through this holy, sacred journey of learning how to lift up boundaries while being such a sensitive and kind person. You're changing the game for everyone, not just for you. And we see with these last two cards, you know, the way that you want to live, the way that you deserve to live is within your power to create. And even while it can be exhausting to go through that back and forth, know that you're nearing the end of it. You absolutely are. 3, 2, 1, you're nearly there. And you standing strong in that process and determining to create these boundaries and to not back down. You know, protecting yourself. You are what's dear to you. And you deserve that protection. You deserve those boundaries. You deserve that loving care. And that's the kind of life, that's the kind of reality that you're building in your softness. You still achieve equal exchange. And the standing of your ground, protecting what's important, protecting those boundaries. Staying soft while having boundaries is a beautiful thing. And I commend you in your work. This is a huge blockage that you have spent so much time figuring out how to remove and release from your life. And it's been a trial and a challenge, and you're bossing it. You're doing amazing. So keep believing that the kind of world that's soft and kind and gentle that you imagine you can live in, because you're capable now of understanding how to protect your boundaries and stand up for yourself when it's needed. You're emerging, you're transforming. And so is your life. And so are the lives of the people around you. What you're doing is so impactful. And your whole next cycle and whole next year is going to be dramatically different than what you've ever experienced before. Because now you're getting into the flow. Now you're figuring out how to, keep yourself respected and, allowing yourself to only do the things that there's reciprocity in. And you're going to start, experiencing new and different kinds of relationships where people are wanting to have equal exchange with you. So look forward and be hopeful that this back and forth motion that you're experiencing is ending. And next year, or this new cycle that you're coming into, is going to be so different. So I think that's all the messages that Spirit wanted to tell you. Thank you so much for being here with me. I hope this brought you a lot of hope and encouragement. And I hope this inspired you for looking towards your future with hope and joy, because it's going to be good. So I'll see you next time. Take care.